If there was one rock artist who showed us how to turn and face the strange changes of the 70s, it was David Bowie. In an otherwise musically limp decade, Bowie kept us all on our toes. One of the first to realize image was just as important as music, Bowie set trends in style instead of reflecting them. After over 20 years of recording, the breadth and color of David Bowie's career is astonishing. More Renaissance man than rocker, Bowie has never surrendered himself to the conceits of the rather limited world of rock and roll. He's always had one blue eye on the big picture, and the big picture has sound and vision. And that's the title of an elaborately marketed CD release of old Bowie material and the name of the tour, which kicked off here in Quebec City. Fitting, since this time Bowie is sharing his vision with French-Canadian choreographer and designer Edward Locke. His blue eye must have seen something he liked.
I thought it would be great to get someone in that I respected very much as an artist and have their objective point of view as to what could be done to stage 20 years of songs without it becoming a sort of a nostalgia trend. And it occurred to me that Edward Locke, from the director and choreographer for La La La, Human Steps, would be the ideal man. And he was, frankly, really excited about the prospects of doing something like a rock and roll tour with his eye. And subsequently, that's what we've done. That's what we're doing.
Locke's Montreal dance company, the internationally renowned La 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 Human Steps, has been performing their special athletic, hardcore style of dance since 1980. His use of interactive film with dance and the obvious stylistic comparisons to the world of rock and roll make the collaboration with Bowie a natural. In 1988, Bowie danced with La La La's star dancer Louise Le Cavalier in this satellite telecast from New York, choreographed by Locke. With Edward taking care of the visual side of this show, was he able to draw any connections between your material that maybe you hadn't seen before?
His sensory devices seem to gravitate towards the surreal. So there's a sort of a dreamlike quality to that he's pulled out of what I do, I think, far more efficiently than I would have. But
it's always been there in your work.
It's been there, but he's probably exploited it a little bit more fully than I have ever done. He's besotted by the dreamlike image, and he's utilized it to great effect on this show. And as the projectors break down, it'll be stunning.
Technically, Sound and Vision is the most difficult show Bowie has ever done. Projecting black and white film images onto a see-through screen 60 by 35 feet demanded technology that up to now hasn't existed. These pre-recorded film images lip-sync to Bowie's live performance. Pulling that off is risky business. Tell my wife I love her very much. She knows. Edward Locke.
So it just takes a lot of precision and organization and technology to achieve that. But that's transparent. I don't think anybody stepping into the stadium is going to be aware of any kind of technology. That's the beauty of it. To them, it's going to be very simple. It's going to be digestible.
Edward has incorporated TV technology, but what he's done with it still is much more in the area of concept art, I guess. He's done away with a lot of the more sort of conservative kind of TV shooting that one usually sees at a rock concert. He's changed the focus of where you see the image. That's something I think that's probably the most innovative part about what's happened. I think a lot of bands will see how you can use video with the stage and see the stage at the same time and think, gosh, that's a good idea.
And we'll see it next summer.
I better warn them how expensive it is.
working with David Bowie is not being with a neutral entity. The man has very strong associations for many people, and therefore I'm slightly out of control anytime I touch the image, because I don't completely control it. Bowie or any other well-known performer essentially is a mythology. It's a legend. It's an image that we carry around with ourselves, and therefore it essentially is fair game to create images out of. It is essentially an image. It's intangible.
Bowie's control over his own image-making is most apparent in his live shows. Unlike most stadium rock, where the performers are dwarfed by equipment, sets, and pyrotechnics, Bowie applies the rules of theater to help magnify himself on stage. In 1984, the highly successful Serious Moonlight Tour utilized TV technology more fully than ever before. A carefully choreographed routine between performers and cameras gave the audience staged close-ups that always packed a punch. The less cohesive Glass Spider tour of '87 resembled more of a three-ring circus than a rock show, with a full dance troupe, a multi-level performance area, and its very own glass spider, which Bowie burned in despair near the end of the tour in a field in New Zealand. The mixed reviews of Glass Spider make it a little unusual to find him back so soon, nostalgically warbling through his greatest hits.
This will be the last time I'll do these songs. It's for me a celebration of the future. It's like a mopping up operation of what to do when you're a rock star at 43, 44, and this is the first signs of how we deal with it. One of them being is that you have now subsequently collected a huge amount of material, and that's one of the things that the audience feel is so much a part of once you go out and play these things. But the next approach is what after that. Okay, so now we know that. We now know that our old material is very popular. But then do we continue playing that for the rest of our lives? And those are some of the major decisions that we have to make, we older chaps. And me personally, I don't think I want to rest with that. That's not going to excite me very much. I'd rather sort of have a heyday and a real ball singing these songs one last time, and then having to devise a future, if I'm going to have one at all. We'll see. I mean, only the future knows.
Then I turned myself to face me, but I never caught a glimpse of how the others must see this faker. I'm much too fast to take the test, to change it, to change it. Didn't want to have to be a richer man, but to change it, change it. Just wanted to be a better man, but time may change me. I can change that.
For the Journal, I'm Laurie Brown.